Hey y'all, this is the Kobe Bryant Film Room from the Behind the Bench Sports Network. And I want to get into part three of the Mamba Mentality series that I started a couple of weeks back. And I want to talk about time management. To me, time management is one of the most important things to master, right? So let me put it like this. Let me ask you guys a question. Are you guys the type of person to walk into a restaurant and wait and wait and wait and wait, meanwhile you're being ignored by the person behind the counter? Okay, so that person behind the counter or that business clearly does not value your time. You should leave, right? You'd be surprised how many people don't walk away. They sit there and wait, or they don't say anything at all. They don't even confront the manager or anything. They just sit there and take it. The reason why I bring that up, right, is because when you let somebody waste your time, there's somewhere else you can be. There's another restaurant at, that would have probably had you seated by that time, right? So with time management, that it goes into a bunch of different things. Same thing as if you're in a relationship. If that person is standing you up, not spending time with you, not communicating with you, maybe the person's a little abusive verbally or even physically, God forbid. You have to make a decision. How long are you going to stay in that relationship? How long are you going to allow somebody to waste your time, right? Or let's think about a job, right? You wake up, probably make about $100 a day, work 5 days a week, maybe 500, 600, right? But then you have another person, who works 3 hours in a day and makes thousands of dollars a week, hundreds of thousands of dollars a week. Well, they're using their time to the best of their abilities, right? Working a job, working a 9 to 5, you have to think about your value and how much time are you willing to let somebody else waste of yours. Because when somebody is wasting your time, you could be doing a lot of things. You could be working out. You could be spending time with your loved ones. You could be making more money. You know, um, there's a bunch of things you can do with your time. You know, as long as you don't let people waste it. See, these things are important to you guys. It's important. When you wake up, you start thinking about the value of your time. Don't let friends or family waste your time. Dealing with somebody who keeps making the same mistakes, keep asking you for money. If somebody keeps asking you for money over and over again, they're wasting your time. You know why? Because you have to go out there and put in the time to earn the money, right? So we have to understand these things. When I was growing up, I played a game called Around the World, back when I used to play ball. And the concept of Around the World was the way we played it growing up, because I don't see too many kids playing it today. Maybe that's because, I'm not in those circles anymore and I'm not a young kid. But back when I played, the rules were 2 shots from each spot. One shot, you move on to the next spot. If you miss the first shot, you take a second shot. But if you miss the second shot, you move one spot backwards, right? And when you get to the last spot, if you miss that second shot, you go all the way back to the beginning. So why do I bring that game up? I bring that game up because you learn how to hone in on your skills, on your shooting skills, so that you won't have to go all the way back or back one space, right? Time management, right? Because at the end of the day, the clock of life is winding down. Forever doesn't exist on earth. We all have an hourglass to live by, right? And time is ticking every second, you know, every minute, every hour, every month, every year, you know, every single day. Our time is ticking. So you have 24 hours in a day. Are you taking somebody out who's ungrateful and doesn't appreciate you? Why are you doing this? When you could cut that person off and spend time with somebody who appreciates you, that time and money. And I noticed that a lot of people get upset when they're dating, but you can end the game when you want to end the game, right? You can cut them off. Cutting people off is important. Saving time is important. You know, it's very important, y'all, to start things early or end things early. The more you let things drag on, the more you let people waste your time, they will. You know, so we just got to be more wise with our time. What about God? Are you spending time with God? Are you making time with God? Exercising. Are you making time to make sure you have a good diet and a healthy life so you can have more time? Because health is wealth, y'all. If y'all out there and y'all ain't healthy, then you're cutting your time on earth. Why would you want to do that? If you have loved ones, you have kids, you have people you care about who need you, or people who depend on you, right? They need you around. So these are the things that should be important to you. The Mamba mentality or life, right? Life management goes beyond basketball. Right, Kobe calls it the Mamba mentality, but I just think it's life management, right? Taking control back over your life, whatever you want to call it, right? Perseverance, to use as much time as you possibly can until it's over. You see, when Kobe died on that helicopter, he used all his time on earth that he possibly could doing the things that he wanted to do, that he believed in, right? He didn't look back and say, oh, if I was young, I could have did this as far as his craft. And I also want to say this. Tomorrow is never promised, right? If you look at his daughter, you know, or the other people, tomorrow's never promised. Anything can happen. I've seen a car accident, a motorcycle accident yesterday, driving down the road. Hopefully that person made it. I'm not sure what happened. There was police and, you know, we couldn't really see over there because we were passing by. But you never know, man. You never know. Take advantage of your life. You know, if you're too dedicated to this basketball stuff going on YouTube, this GOAT conversation, get out of it. Because you're spending too much time on it and not enough time on real life things. You see, I have to learn, because I work a lot. I'm a workaholic. I had to learn that, man, I had to take a break. You know, I got the kids, I got the wife. I got 3 channels, you know what I'm saying, that I provide content for. You know, I'm doing 2-3 hour streams, live streams, full game reactions. And it takes a lot out of me sometimes. I love to do it, but it takes a lot out of me sometimes. Sometimes you have to know when to stop, when to rest. Because when you're resting, you're using time wisely as well to recuperate. There was a popular YouTuber by the name of Kevin Samuels. And Kevin Samuels was working hard nonstop. He would have a Red Bull. And I remember watching one of his videos and thinking, man, that's not healthy. This man's working across. I didn't say anything because I didn't really think of it that much back then. But working that hard and sleeping that little, it does damage to your heart, man. It weighs up, and then on top of that, you add that drink to it. It's just a recipe for disaster, right? And so he didn't know, that was going to happen to him. You never know. And so planning for things like that is important. Scheduling, spending time with your kids, making sure you're being a good husband, spending time with your wife. These things are a part of life. But there's a reason why a lot of wealthy people, they don't let people waste their time. They'd rather be on a yacht somewhere. Meanwhile, their workers are doing all the work. The workers waste all their time. The managers come in there, work a couple of hours, and they go the hell home. They may work off the clock, but they're not doing physical labor. And they're making the money, a lot of money. Money that the average person doesn't see. So yes, they still are working. To some people out there who are gonna say, well, they work too. Millionaires work, entrepreneurs work around the clock. They do, but they're reaping all the benefits. Are you reaping all the benefits? Probably not. So these are the things. Time management is a necessity. Making time for yourself, giving yourself a break. These things are important, y'all. Cutting the BS out. But hey, y'all, that's my time. Love and live life. This is the Kobe Bryant Film Room from Behind the Bench Sports Network. Shout out to Big Dog Talk Sports, Kelvin, JB, Rashad, and I'll holla.